Today we're going to be going over how to complete your requisition forms for the quarterly report. The first thing you want to do is fill in what quarter you're reporting for. In this case, we're reporting on quarter 3, which is April 1st through June 30th. The second thing you want to do is fill in the name and address of your agency. So right here you can see Housing Action Illinois information, and then the name of the person whom the payment should be sent. The next thing that you want to do is have your billing rate form ready, and we have ours ready on the left side of the screen. And this billing rate form is important to us while filling out the quarterly report because we're going to need our billing rate in order to calculate the requisition amount. So you see down here on the left, our billing rate form tells us that our hourly billing rate to Housing Action Illinois is $24.63. So we're gonna fill this whole column with that number, and that'll make the calculations a lot easier to make. Got that right there. Copy. Paste. Paste. Okay. The next thing that we need our billing rate form for is to tell us what the total grant award is. So we're going to go down here and fill that in. So after we're done filling out the requisition form, the balance will show how much money we have left over in our grant. Okay. So it's going to be $23,052.78. There we go. And after we hit enter, since we haven't used any of our grant money yet, and we haven't billed previously, the balance is the total grant amount. The thing that we're going to be doing is looking at the workshops that households participated in. So we're not going to need the billing rate form anymore, so we can close that up and we can get a better look at the requisition form itself. Okay. Of the requisition form, you'll see all the types of workshops and a number and letter that corresponds to that same type on the HUD 9902 form. The column is the number of workshops completed this quarter. So as an example, I'll write that Housing Action Illinois had 2 fair housing workshops this quarter. In the next column, we're going to write how many households received education this quarter. So we had 2 workshops, and for each of those workshops, 5 households came. So we had a total of 10 households. The next column is the number of households that graduated this quarter. So all of the households that were receiving education finished all of the coursework and graduated. So we're going to put 10 in that column too. This last column is staff hours expended for education this quarter. So any hours that your counselor spent working on materials for this workshop, or following up with clients after the workshop, or putting on the workshop itself, all of those hours are going to go in this box. So I'm going to write that for 2 workshops, let's say Housing Action Illinois spent 15 hours working on the materials there. And after I put in that 15, you can see that that automatically multiplies with our billing rate and gives us a requisition amount for the fair housing workshop. Okay, and since we only have one type of workshop filled in, that requisition amount is carried directly to the bottom subtotal. Point that I want to make about the workshop section is this other workshops section here. Now, in this area, you can include training workshops that your counselors went to, and if you're including those hours, you'll just put them in this cell right here and leave the number of households receiving education, and the number of workshops completed blank, because those metrics don't apply to when counselors are getting training themselves. But what you are going to want to do is show all the materials that you have that proves that your counselors did in fact go on this workshop for training. Documents that you would include with this requisition form and your quarterly report would be like certificates from the training, a receipt of the training, or receipts for other expenses like travel costs. Okay, now we'll scroll down to the individual counseling section, and this section is set up a lot like the workshop section above it. Similar counseling types are in the left-hand column with codes that correspond to the 9902. First column is to record how many clients your counselors continue to work with in this quarter from previous quarters. So, for example, we're going to put down that Housing Action Illinois continues to work with 5 clients whose counseling services started in previous quarters. So the next thing that we want to do is enter the number of households that were initiated in new services this quarter. And we're looking at pre-purchase and home buying counseling. So we want to put down the number of households that started receiving that sort of counseling, and we started 7 new clients there. So I'm going to hit enter there, and then you'll be able to see that the total households counseled this quarter is 12, because it adds together these 2 columns. Next, we're going to look at the staff hours column, and after looking at our timesheets, we're going to see that Housing Action Illinois as a organization put in 20 hours just doing pre-purchase and home buying counseling. So I'm going to enter that, and then once you enter that, you'll see that the 20 is multiplied by the billing rate and gives you the requisition amount. Next, you'll be able to see that the 2 subtotals, subtotal individual and subtotal education, are added together and give you the total requisition amount. One more example real quick. This one will be for rental topics counseling. Housing Action Illinois didn't have any clients that carried over from previous quarters, so we're going to put a 0 in that. We did have 1 household that started counseling this quarter, so we're going to enter that. And after looking at our timesheets, we can see that the staff hours expended for rental topic counseling was 5. Requisition amount for the rental topics counseling is calculated. You'll see that our new total requisition amount automatically increases. Of the requisition form, there's a box here that shows the total grant, how much is being billed to the grant this quarter, how much has been billed so far this fiscal year, and the remaining balance of the grant. So right now, we haven't entered anything in the previously billed cell, but if we were to do that, let's say in previous quarters we billed $10,000, it'll automatically calculate the remaining balance of the grant. After you're done filling in the requisition form, just scroll down and sign on this line and print your name on this line, and then write the date, and you're finished filling in your requisition form for your quarterly report.